What's going on, everybody? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you, Hennessy Black, in the building. Hennessy Black in the building. William Davis in the building. What's up, bruh? Aaron Holloway in the building. What's going on, everybody? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, today's live is going to be on sleepers for week 8. I know we got a lot of buys. Lamar Jackson is out. AJ Brown is out. So we need to go to the waivers and find guys that we can play to replace those guys. So I'm going to give you 5 guys, and I got a couple bonus guys. So make sure you stay for the whole live, guys. Hit the like button, share it to your friends, share it to your league mates. I know a lot of you don't want to share my videos. You don't want anybody to find out where your sleepers come from, but it helps out the channel growth. So if you can, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all rock with me. I appreciate y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hennessy Black. He says, what up, TD? Hennessy Black says, should I start Rico as the lead in a split backfield? Listen, bro, when it comes to Rico and Chuba, it's what you need to do. I got Chuba with no Rico, and I'm starting Chuba in the flex because I don't have anybody else better to play. Now, listen, in an ideal situation, I want to play Rico and I want to play Chuba at the same time. Or I want to hold them both out at the same time. But this is what I think is going on. I'm not going to give you a direct or a concrete answer because nobody knows what the head coach is going to do. But to me, I think it's going to be a 50-50 split, and depending on the hot hand. So I think both guys can score. I think this is one of the best run games in the NFL. I said what I said. Don't be surprised if this game is closer than what the experts think. Andy Dalton is going to be really good for guys like Xavier Leggett. So I think this game is going to be fine. So you can start Rico, bro. It's not about starting him as a bad play. No matter what the points, no matter what his output is, it's a good play if you need to play him. Now, if you got like James Cook and stuff like that, and you're trying to put Rico in, that's when you're making a mistake. You know, but I don't think you're making a mistake. I think you're just trying to get a good player in, and I think Rico is solid. You said, and then you said, or King Henry with no Lamar, Chicago. Listen, bro, King Henry, that's easy. That shouldn't even be a question, Black. You start King Henry. I don't care who's the quarterback. If I'm the starter of the Baltimore Ravens, you still start Derrick Henry. He don't need me. The coaches are going to design plays knowing that Lamar's not playing, that you got to get Henry going if you want to win this game. You're not going to give Henry 8 carries and talking about the game got out of hand. Even if the game gets out of hand, you got to get Derrick Henry his carries. He's making $10 to $12 million this year. So Derrick Henry is a start no matter what. Don't overthink it. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to, well, if they're going to give it to him on the right side of the field because he's not playing good on the left side of the field. And when they give him the ball, if they hit him in his arm, he might fumble. We ain't doing none of that here. We playing Derrick Henry. You playing Derrick Henry. Dance with the girl that you came to the party with. Let's see here. Guys, make sure you sign up as a member of the channel. You can get a free consultation if you sign up as a Phenom member, which is a $20 value. So make sure you sign up as a Phenom member, or I got other tiers that you can sign up for. And that way, guys, you get perks, you get your questions answered no matter what. Even if I'm getting ready to get off the live, if I see you asking a question, I will get to it if you are a member of the channel. And if I do forget to say, TD, I'm a member of the channel, man, you didn't get to my question. Now, rookie tier, that's the lowest tier. That's $1 tier. You still are a member of the channel. You still get to come in for certain lives. You still get perks. You still get the videos quicker, but you don't really get any other perks after that. The other tiers is where you make sure you can come up on the live if you want to. Yes, you are welcome to come up on the live if you are Pro Bowl tier or better. All right. William Davis. What's up, bruh? He says, what up, TD? Ian Taylor in the building. What's up, Ian? Dean James Talley in the building. He said, what's up, TD? Flacco over Dart today? Yes, man. I'm going to go with Flacco. The matchup is so great, man. It's so pure. I said what I said. It's so great. It's so pure that you got to play Flacco. I love Dart, but I feel like the Eagles got something to prove they got something to prove. So they don't want to. Dart ate them up last game. Pause. So I think they come out. They know what Dart is. They try to keep him in the pocket. And I like Flacco throwing against with no Sauce Gardner. Jamar Chase with no Sauce Gardner. Jamar Chase with no Sauce Gardner. That's crazy. So I like Flacco. I can't do it, Alex. I can't play Justin Fields. If y'all want to play Justin Fields, I'm not going to talk you off that ledge. I'm not playing him in none of my lineups. Listen, could the guy go for 40 points? It's possible. I don't care if he go for 95 points. I'm not playing Justin Fields. And now, listen, if he go for 95 points and he dotting people, he's getting the ball out in a time manner, it looks like him and Garrett Wilson going to be on the same page. That's when I can go back to that well. I'm not going to that well for points. I'm going to that well for advancement, because as long as you're not advancing as getting your pocket presence better, you're not going to be consistent enough for me to rely on you at the quarterback position when you got guys like Drake May, who's playing out of his mind. You got Kirk Cousins, who's got a great matchup coming off of waivers with Michael Penix probably not playing this week. You got so many different opportunities to play different quarterbacks throughout the whole year. I don't want to go to a Justin Fields, who's the most volatile quarterback ever in the history of fantasy. I mean, this dude can give you 0 points, and I don't want to say 0, but let's say 5 points, or he can give you 45. So I'm not playing Justin Fields, but it could be a revenge game for him. Caleb Hamilton, he said, "What's up, brother? What's going on with you?" Martin Torres in the building. Caleb Hamilton said, "Should I play Tez, Ramondre, Managa, or Loveland in my flex?" All right, hold on, guys. Let me get my sheet real quick. What the heck did I do with my game script paper? Did I take it out? I might have took the games out, guys. I think I did. All right, hold up. Okay, here it go. Right here. All right. So you said should you play Taz, Ramondre, Manago of Loveland in the flex? Okay, let me go look at this matchup real quick. Okay, I'm going to say no to Ramondre. Look like I'm going to say Tez. But let me kick no Managa. He's the backup. He did fine. He got 18 touches, but the game was out of hand. He got 8 touches in the fourth quarter. I like Loveland. I really like Loveland. I'm going to go with Tez. Also, would you play any of these guys over Waddle? No, I'm not playing none of those guys over Waddle. I'm playing Waddle with Tua still active. I'm playing Waddle with Tua active. He says, I have Kittle as my main tight end, okay? Alex says other option is C.J. Stroud. Let me see, Alex. Who you talking about, Alex? Justin Fields. Okay. I get it. I probably would play Justin Fields in that situation too. That's why I said it's always with when you give a background, depending on what the situation, you got to do what you got to do. If I didn't have no quarterback and Justin Fields was out there on the waivers, would I play him? Hell yeah. I'm not going to sit there and take a 0. So I get that. I probably would play Justin Fields over CJ. But listen, man, I won't be shocked if CJ outscores him. Who the hell Justin Fields going to throw to? Mason Taylor might not even play. He don't even target Mason Taylor. What wide receivers they got is good enough? Gibson and them boys? I don't know, bro. I don't like the weapons. But it's hard for me to say CJ. CJ do got Marks as a good running backup. He got Nick Chubb. He also have a Xavier Hutchinson and Jalen Noel. You know what, man? I'm gonna say CJ Stroud, bro. It's just Justin Fields is like that girl that, and this is a pause. This is a big pause. But Justin Fields is like that girl that's thick and she fine, but her attitude is ridiculous. You might come up to her and hug her. She might cuss your ass out, And then you might not talk to her the next day, and she'll be like, you acting funny. I was going to come over to the house and see you today. I wanted to hang out with you. That's what Justin Fields is. I can't trust it. I don't know. I don't want to be around you. I don't know what you're going to say to the police. I don't know nothing about you. I think you're weird, but you just look good. So you makes you want to keep going to Justin Fields with that rushing. You know he could do a 70-yard touchdown run. Hold on, guys. Let me do this Q&A. Make a poll. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can do this Q&A, guys. Hit the like button. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. All right, and let me see here. Start a poll. There we go. Okay, hit the like button. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So listen, before I get to the everybody else question, let me see. Aaron Holloway says Drake London is questionable now. I saw that. And that makes me get a little bit nervous about Kirk Cousins, but Darnell Mooney should be playing this week, so I think Drake London still should be active. I hate these late injuries. But listen, the whole sports community is scared. So everybody's going to be perfect. Everybody's going to be on their best behavior because of what's going on. Have y'all noticed that FanDuel and Draftkings is giving out a lot of free prop bets? Like they're giving out extra bonuses and shit because they want to be able to go to not the FBI, but I would say Washington, where the big time courts are at. When they call their ass in and say, what's going on? Why do these people are cheating? Why y'all ain't investigated? They would say, well, listen, we gave out bonuses back to our clients. We tried to help them out so they don't get sued that bad. Hopefully, if they give out a little bit of money now, they won't get sued as bad on the back end because they could be getting a lawsuit because people have been paying their hard-earned money on basketball props. So you're going to see a lot of stuff being announced early and often. Like, I don't think Lamar could have been a game time decision, but they nervous. Everybody's nervous now. William Daisy says, what up, bruh? It's Big Will. Okay. Chase Brown versus New York Jets. I like Chase Brown versus New York Jets or Judkins versus New England. Need two. So you need two. Let's go with Chase Brown. Let's go with Chase Brown. All three are stars, bruh. But I'm going to go with Chase Brown going against a New York team, and they got a lot of injuries. We got to get Chase Brown in there. I want to play Kamara so bad. Judkins is balling out. We can't sit him, so I'm going to go with Chase Brown and Judkins. But I don't feel good about sitting Kamara. I think Kamara is a play. I believe that Kamara is a big-time play. But I can't get him into that lineup. Thomas, what's up, Thomas? He says London questionable. Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Ninja, what's up? He said, should I play Ratliff over Jackson Dart? No, hell no. Play Jackson Dart. Play Jackson Dart. Okay. So, all right, guys. So, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get on with the content. And like I said, guys, either you super chat and I'll stop my content and answer your question. Other than that, I'm going to go through my 5 guys, and then I'm going to get to everybody's question after that. I appreciate everybody being patient. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Appreciate everybody being here. All right, the first guy I want to talk about is going to be a running back from the New York Jets, and it's going to be Isaiah Davis. They say Breach should play, but he does got a questionable tag. I don't think you play Breach in this type of game where you got a bunch of starters out. You don't want Breach to get hurt. You won't have no trade capital. You won't have a running back, and if he get hurt again, you won't be able to get anything. You're just going to have to let him walk and go to somewhere else. So I think I don't know if Breach is going to play, so I want to talk about Isaiah Davis. And Isaiah Davis has still got standalone value because he's a good pass catcher, and they do split this backfield. Breach is not going to get 100% of the touches. I think Isaiah Davis, as in right now, if Breach did play, would get 30 to 35% of the touches. With no Breach, he's going to get 60 to 70% of the touches. So I like Isaiah Davis. If you need a backup running back, or if you need an RB1 or flex play, you can play Isaiah Davis. All right, moving on to my number 2 guy. This is a wide receiver from the Tennessee Titans. It's going to be Shamir DK. And it looks like Dyke, but it's DK. They call him DK. And this guy outdid Alec Edelman. Everybody kept trying to push up Alec Edelman. I kept talking about him. He hasn't really got any bulk of targets. So neither did DK. But DK has been pretty decent the last 2 weeks. So if you out there and your league is dry on the waivers and you need somebody to play in the flex, DK is not a bad guy to put in. What's going on, Travis Looney? What's up, bruh? If you're new, guys, be patient. I will get to your questions. That's how we do it here. The people who are skipping are people that are members of the channel. Okay, guys, my next guy is going to be a wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills, and people are not, or kind of forgot about him, but he still is the #1 wide receiver. And remember, they've been losing. So when teams lose, they usually adjust their game script up a little bit different. So guess what I believe the Buffalo is talking about doing? I believe that they are going to be using Keon Coleman more. This is the guy I'm talking about. They're going to be using Keon Coleman more because they need to push the ball downfield for big plays. So James Cook is going to get a boatload of carries, and I believe that Keon Coleman is going to get some red zone targets. So I like Keon Coleman if he's out there on the waivers and you need a wide receiver this week. He's a sleeper. Moving on to my number 4 guy. This is a tight end. What's going on, Mr. YTZ? My number 4 guy is going to be Colston Loveland from the Chicago Bears, and they playing against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, listen, Kyle Hamilton is back this week. He is practicing. He is starting. So Kyle Hamilton does really good against tight ends. He's 6'6". He put his hands on you. He's going to usually stay with you unless you're just like one of the fastest guys it is. And he can run, too. He's a 4'5" guy, so he can move. He got good feet. So, but I still like Colston Loveland. And I can mention him in the stash because people have dropped him. But remember what Sam Laporta is, what he was for the Detroit Lions. So Ben Johnson likes to use his tight ends. That's why he drafted Colston Loveland, I believe, in the 1st round. So if you see Colston Loveland out there and you need a tight end, that's a guy that I think is only going to get better, and you can start him this week. Moving on to my number 5 guys are going to be a quarterback. It's going to be Andy Dalton. And you might say, well, Andy Dalton, but listen, this is a bye-week replacement. And Andy Dalton can keep this offense going. He's good enough to keep this offense going 1 or 2 weeks. Now, after that, he could be figured out. But as these veteran guys, hold on, guys. Let me look at something. Okay. All right. So Andy Dalton, guys, is going to keep this team on script. So he's going to be to get the ball out to guys like Jimmy Horn, Tech McMillan, be able to do play action, throw it to Tommy Tremble, also hit up Xavier Leggett. So I love Andy Dalton as a streamable quarterback this week. If you needed to go to him, there's a couple other guys like Justin Fields is out there. If you want to play Justin Fields, that's on you. I like Andy Dalton over Justin Fields, just to throw for a couple touchdowns, maybe even just one, just to keep me from getting a dud. All right, so I got a couple bonus guys. For you. Hold on, guys. Let me crank up this. I gotta open this window because it's getting hot in here. Okay. Let me know if that puts a bad glare on the camera or something. Okay, so my bonus guy is first guys. I just mentioned his name is going to be Xavier Leggett. Yes, Xavier Leggett. I like him this week. I love those targets that I saw. Now listen, could I be biased because I was on Xavier Leggett in the offseason? Yes, I could be biased. But this is what I always thought the guy could do. I just needed to see him get the targets and trust his success. And I've been seeing it the last couple of weeks. He's been looking like a NFL wide receiver. So, guys, I love Xavier Leggett as a wide receiver that you can go to the waivers and play over a lot of guys that have terrible matchups. Do I like Xavier Leggett over Zay Flowers this week? I do. I'm not telling you to sit Zay, but what I'm telling you, if you ask me to, and you put a weapon to my head and said, well, you got to pick who's going to score the most this week, I might will go with Xavier Leggett. The reason why I don't trust Tyler Huntley or Snoop Huntley with Zay Flowers as an underneath guy. Could he hit Rashard Bateman or somebody on a deep pass? Yes, he could do that. But I'm not going to trust. And I do like Derrick Henry with him because he can run the ball. He will have a few points with being mobile. I'm not talking about him as a bye-week replacement as a quarterback, but I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him hitting Zay Flowers. So I like Xavier Leggett over Zay Flowers because of the quarterback situation. I think Xavier Leggett is helped by Andy Dalton being on time. When Bryce Young is playing, Bryce Young is holding on to the ball. He has to throw it in windows, and you have to be able to read the ball coming out of a shorter quarterback hand, which is a little bit more difficult. But when you are taller as a quarterback, you can. When the quarterback starts here, you can see it the whole time. Being able to track any type of ball in any sport, you have to see it before it gets released or comes out of whatever it's coming out of. If it's coming out of a racket, if it's coming out of a lacrosse thing, you need to be able to track the ball. Now listen, when you get really, really good and you're in the NFL, you don't always have to see it come out as much, but you still need to be able to track the ball. And I think Xavier Leggett would be able to track the ball coming out of Andy Dalton's hands with the on-time offense. It's going to be a little bit more on time. Not saying that Andy Dalton is better than Bryce Young. And last but not least, is going to be a tight end from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is going to be Darnell Washington. If you go back and look at his last 2 games, he's been targeted over 8 times. And listen, when Aaron Rodgers likes you, pause. He really, really likes you. So listen, you could be Allen Lazard. You could be Randall Cobb. If he tell those coaches that he wants you out there, you will be out there. And Darnell Washington is out there playing out of his mind because Aaron Rodgers wants him. He hasn't been playing and starting for weeks. For years. And this is a guy that was drafted, like 3rd or 4th round. Had a lot of the draft people, the scouts was talking like this guy is huge. He's 6'7" and he's 280 and he runs a 4.6. Like he was a monster. But they didn't use him. Aaron Rodgers, ever since he's been there, he's been using him. And so I feel good about it, especially with no number 2 wide receiver on the team. It's DK and then Calvin Austin. So they're going to mix in Pat Freiermuth. That's another guy. I don't have him on this list. That's another guy. They're going to mix in Pat Freiermuth, and they're going to mix in Darnell Washington. So I like Darnell Washington for any time touchdown. He's had one the last 2 weeks. I'm probably would bet on it again. Okay. So I also told you that A.J. Brown is out. Lamar Jackson is out. Tyler Huntley is playing, not Cooper Rush. It's Tyler Huntley. And I like Devontae Smith. They said Jahan Dotson should be the number 2, but I don't think Jahan Dotson is going to have enough targets for us to start him. So I just will load up on Devontae Smith. I love Devontae Smith this week. Okay, so let's get to these questions. Mr. YT says, what up, TD? If you had to let one of them go, who would you let? Who would it be? Travion Henderson or Trey Benson or Woody Marks? Probably Trey Benson because he's not active. I love Woody Marks. I think he's going to be a league-winning player down the stretch. I think he's going to be out-snapping Nick Chubb as the season goes on because of his pass-catching ability. Travion Henderson, if anything happens to Ramondre, I like Travion. I think he just needs the opportunity, and maybe they wait later in the season to get him going. So I love Travion Henderson. I like Trey Benson too. But right now it's disgusting over there with the Cardinals. So I believe you could possibly go back and get Trey Benson. If I see Travion Henderson out there, I'm picking him up. I'm not saying everybody is, but I am. And definitely Woody Marks. Trey Benson, it just depends on my team what I need. Because I don't want to be waiting on the guy to come back off IR. He might not even come back and start right away. Three strikes. What's up, bruh? He says, are we holding or dropping QJ? What's up, bruh? It depends, bruh. Listen, you know I don't. So let me ask you this, three strikes. I want you to respond in the chat. Why are you thinking about dropping QJ? Why are you thinking about dropping QJ? Because if you dropping QJ because he gave you a dud, you thought he was going to average 18 points every single week for this year? So what I'm saying is QJ is QJ. He's still that same player that y'all see that, and that's what I don't like going on. Women do this in relationships with men. Men do it in relationships too. So I'm not gonna put it all. I only can talk from a man point of view because I'm a man. But just because I got jury on doesn't make me a good person. You got to know what's in my mind. I'm always that person. Whatever my mind is, that's who I am. Whatever QJ is what he is. Just because he's getting 18 points a week doesn't mean that he's going to be great. So for you to drop him out after him dudding you, this is not Justin Jefferson. He said facts. So with you saying what you are just saying, holding on to him. No, I'm not. Because if you really, so when I'm saying three strikes, if you're going to drop him, then drop him and don't follow his point pattern. If you're going to hold on to him, then hold on to him. Don't follow the point pattern. Just make sure when you're playing him, you're okay with playing him. If you played him and he gave you some bad weeks earlier than last week, because he just gave people a 0, that's fine. Like if you just want to drop him because you don't need him on your team anymore, you got somebody better, that's okay. But don't drop him because of his output. He's still a dangerous guy running deep routes for that team. Right. So it's up to you, bro. That's what I'm saying. Because I got Jameson Williams still on my team. I could drop him, but why would I drop him? I know what he's been. And I'd rather have Jameson Williams on that elite offense. That's why I'm telling you not just to drop him, because he's playing with Justin Herbert. So I don't want to drop a guy in case I might need him on a bye week. But listen, you can drop QJ. I would try to hold on to him for a boom game and then maybe trade him. It might be too late to trade him. Sometimes I use a player up, got plenty of trade targets, but I needed him to win. And then all of a sudden his trajectory changes because somebody comes back and you got to move on. Sometimes you can't get value for everything. Sometimes you might buy something and your kids might knock it over and break it in the house, and you could have sold it for $500, $600, $700. But guess what? It's sitting in your house for 2 years. It's broke. You got to throw it away. You got to keep it moving. Sometimes you can't get value back, and you just had to use that for what you needed for your team. Hopefully that makes sense, bro. I know that's a fruit salad, but I want you to know what he is and use him accordingly for what they are. Right? It's just like a girlfriend. If a girl keep talking about she wanted to go and start a OF. Then don't say, no, don't do it. Please don't do it. You don't beg her not to do it. That's who she is. Let her be her. Let her be himself. Same thing with a guy. If you want to go out here and hustle and run in the streets, that's who he is. Know what he is and use them accordingly. Let's see here. Travis Looney says, what's up, bro? What's going on with you? Ninja says, should I play Ratliff over Jackson? Okay, we did that one already. Okay, so let me go back up and get to some of the people who I didn't get to earlier. SH33 Dunn says, what's good, bro? 2 weeks ago, I grabbed Benson off waivers, and this week I grabbed Likely. My bench is now fire. Good job, bro. It's all about stashing. That's my favorite thing in fantasy, is stashing. Let's see. Ian Taylor says Stroud or Cousins. That's a good one. To me, you're going to have to wait till Sunday morning at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. If Drake London is playing, I'm playing Cousins. If Drake London doesn't play, I might think about using Stroud. That's the common denominator that you're going to have to figure out. Is Drake London active or he's inactive? I'm sorry. Juan Marino said, "What's up, bro? Have you thought about doing fantasy basketball?" Yes, bro, but I need to bring people on, and I'm willing to interview people and break bread with them far as how my channel is growing. But I will not have the time right now. I would have to lock more down on other jobs that I have during basketball season. But I will come in here and there and talk about stuff that's going on. Like, I'm gonna talk about some of this gambling stuff because that's trending, and I can get subscribers from that. So yes, I do want to do fantasy basketball. I just got to find somebody who knows fantasy basketball. I know it a little bit. I've won championships in it, but I'm not gonna sit here and talk about it like I know football. I know football outside of fan. I know football up and down with my eyes closed. So this is a difference. But that's a great suggestion, bro. Thank you for suggesting that. Yeah, that's good stuff. Caleb Hamlin says, appreciate you anytime. Sage says, how do you handle playing teams that have no wins? Still act like normal and care or treat it like a bye week? Well, it depends on what's going on. On a bye week apocalypse, I'm not going to ruin the integrity of my team when I'm playing an 0-6 team. So now if I'm playing a 6-1 team and I need to win, I got to win that game. Like I'm out of the playoff. I'm like 8-7. You know, I'm the 8th seed, 7th seed, maybe the 9th seed. Then yeah, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win that game. And if I have to drop a Jameson Williams to win that game, I will. But if I'm the number 3 seed, number 2 seed, and I may be playing against the 1 seed or the 12th seed, I'm not gonna ruin the integrity of my team because I'm on my way to the playoffs. So depending on who you dropping, what you're trying to do, you got to know you can drop a player and his trajectory can change. But that's okay if you got to win that week. But I'm not dropping Travion Henderson's if I don't have to, if I'm already the number 2 seed, 1 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed. I'm not doing it. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Juan Marino says, bro, Pittman or no way? I'm going with Pittman all day. I'm playing Pittman all day. And we're not trying to chase Noel to outscore Pittman. That doesn't make sense in fantasy. That's getting too cute. That's breaking it down too much. You got to play Pittman. He's the number 1 on the Colts. Why would you play Noel over him? Now, listen, Noel might outplay him. If you're looking for me to give you some type of secret sauce, every now and then I might have a guy like a Jackson Dart that I talked about a couple of weeks ago that might outscore everybody. But usually, man, it's all about the studs. I'm just giving you a little bit of a breakdown and explaining it why. But yeah, you playing Pittman over Noel. Now, if Noel goes out and does something special, maybe we can reassess it the next week. But right now, we're not going to overthink it. Expiral Docious, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. He says, hey, TD, 2 questions. May or Dart? You're going with May all day long. Listen, Dart is him. Way to keep Dart, because Dart is a good player. And Diggs or Metcalf. You're going with Metcalf over Diggs. We're not going to try to listen. Diggs can outscore Metcalf. Who cares? We're not playing no volatile guy that can do anything any given week, no matter the matchup, unless he's playing a revenge game. So we're going to play DK, and we know Aaron Rodgers is going to hyper-target him. DK, just don't let nobody snatch the ball out of your hand, because Aaron Rodgers will quit throwing you the ball and go to Darnell Washington. Alex says, laughing my ass off, I need to pick a better girl to ask to the dance. I got it, Alex. Come on now. I love it. I love you going with the metaphor. We do a lot of metaphors here. Wait till you hear about giving it up behind the dumpster. Yes, some of these defenses, man, like the New York Jets with no Sauce Gardner, that's why I'm telling everybody to play Chase Brown, because you know what? The Jets is giving it up behind the dumpster. And everybody in the neighborhoods knows. We be looking out the window late nights and seeing everybody going behind that dumpster. We know what's going on over there. The Jets are giving it up behind the dumpster. That's what's going on. Appreciate you being here, Alex. Jace for Hoop says, thank you, bro, for telling me to start Vidal at the flex UAW, bro. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Listen, These guys love me, man. They respect the hell out of me, but they don't always do what I tell them to do, and they don't. And I can tell. Because I know them. They know me. They know how I am. YouTube, man, is one of the best platforms in the world right now because it's so excuse my language. It's so organic. Like, I can pop out alive in my car, but I know content. Y'all know I know content. So just like artists, there's artists that come on YouTube and do their own thing. But guess what? They would never be able to have a platform if they had to go around in a circuit with the professionals like Jay-Z. No, they may not be Jay-Z, but they can still make money. So I'm sorry I went around there, but I want to say, bro, thank you for starting Vidal. Listen, I didn't care what he scored. I knew it was a good play because there's no other running back. Now, I did get a little bit nervous when Jared Patterson started getting targets early in the game. So, yeah. So yeah, bro, Vidal was a good play. Don Rich says Compton, California, up in here. Respect, bro. Yes, sir. I'm from North Carolina. We on the other side. I will be coming to California soon to see my homeboy Dill voted. I will be coming out there. King says parlay talk. Okay, I like parlay talk. We can talk parlay talk. Okay. This is my parlay that I want to take. It's gonna be with the points. I want to take Dallas. Carolina to cover the points. And we're gonna do a 3-leg parlay. I like Dallas. I like Carolina. And I'll take Cincinnati. I'll take the under for the Cincinnati and Jets game. I'll take the under for the Cincinnati and the Jets game. So the under for the Cincinnati and the Jets game. I'm taking Carolina to cover the points as long as it's more than 3. If they giving them anything more than 3, I'm taking the Carolina, and I'm taking Dallas with the 3 points. That's my parlay, bro. William, what's up, bro? With the super chat. Yes, sir. Big Will in the house. He got multiple accounts. He got his throwaway account, and he got his other account. He says, Big Will here. Need help with my lineup, bro. Caleb Williams, Judkins, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Kamar, Jamar, Chase, Ladd. Already played. Okay. Ibuka, K.I. Need 2 running backs. Thanks, bro. Okay. So you need 2 running backs. Chase Brown and Judkins. I want to get Kamara in there, bro. Let me tell you something. Hey, bro, how many points did Ladd do? Because I'd have put Kamara in my flex over Ladd. But I think Ladd had a good game. How many points did Ladd score? Let me know how many points Ladd scored, bro. But I'm just giving you my breakdown, what I would have did. I would have had Judkins, Chase Brown, and Kamara in my lineup no matter what. And, of course, I would have played Ibuka. And, of course, I would have played Cade Otton for the tight end spot. Oh, yeah, you got Jamar Chase, too. So, yeah, Jamar Chase would have been my wide receiver. Ladd would have been my wide receiver. There you go. Okay, so Jamar Chase, Ladd are my 2 wide receivers. No, it'd have been Jamar Chase and Ibuka. I'm sorry. Jamar Chase and Ibuka as my 2 wide receivers. My 2 running backs would have been Chase Brown and Judkins, and then my flex would have been Kamara. That's what I would have done. So Ladd would have been out, but I think Ladd had a good game, so you good. But yeah, Chase Brown and Judkins. I want to play Kamara so bad, but I can't put him in over Chase Brown or Judkins. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Yes, sir. Tron 4 says better start at flex. Jalen Warren or Scary Terry? I'm going to go with slightly Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren with Marcus Mariota being the backup quarterback. I'm going to go with Jalen Warren over Scary Terry. Mid Hayes said, how you feeling about Coastal Lovely and Cal Monaga? I like those guys as stashes, bro. That's some of the big stash guys that I really, really like this year. Well, this week, especially Coastal Lovely. I believe he's getting ready to move into like a Sam Laporta role that Ben Johnson really likes. That's why he went and got Coastal Loveland, even though they already had Cole Kmet, who's a decent tight end. But he wanted Loveland because he know that route running and that wide receiving ability that you can line him up as a wide receiver. You can line him up in line. He's not probably the best blocker, but he's only going to get better as he gets bigger and understands the blocking schemes and how to attack the defensive ends and the linebackers. But his pass and catching ability is already there as an elite NFL tight end. So I think Coastal's only going to get better. If anything happens to DeAndre Swift, if anything happens to DeAndre Swift, you got a backup running back that's come in and is going to eat with that Ben Johnson scheme. It's Louis. Okay, the message was retracted. Okay. B Silver says, I'm 3-4 and the opponent is 2-5. Offered me his Garrett Wilson for my digs and redraft. Yes, sir, bruh. Go get that right now. Go get that Garrett Wilson right now, bruh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Martin Torres says, should I pick up tight end David Njoku or from Cleveland and drop Taysom Hill on New Orleans? Yes. Yes. I would play David Njoku way over Taysom Hill. I know Taysom Hill can be that gadget guy. I need to see a little bit more before I go and play a gadget guy. That's like playing a backup quarterback. I can't do it. Joseph Massey says, Knicks or Daniel Jones? That's easy, bro. We're going with Daniel Jones. Bo Nix, man. I think Dallas can upset them. That's why I told people to pick Dallas for the parlay. So I'm going with Daniel Jones, Chase Brown, and Kamara. I'm going with Chase Brown over Kamara. I don't like sitting Kamara. I think you need to try to get Kamara into your lineups. So I digress. If anybody try to say, you told me to sit Kamara. No, I did not tell you to sit Kamara. You should play Kamara. But if you ask me in a vacuum, I'm going with Chase Brown. And you asking me, is this guy going to score 18 and the other guy going to score 12? That's very difficult when it comes to fantasy. And that's what a lot of other fantasy channels, I think they don't let the guys know. Like, guys, come on. You asking me to split hairs between 4 points? Let's just go with the stud. Now, sometimes you can see something trending real good. And you can say, yeah, play that guy over this guy because he should score 7 or 8 more points than that guy. Sometimes you can see it. But sometimes, guys, nobody has a clue. We don't know what. Even the players, even with the cheating going on, nobody really knows what a guy gonna get when it comes to guys of that certain tier. So I'm gonna go with Chase Brown going against the Jets, and guess why? They're giving it up behind the dumpster. The Jets is giving it up behind the dumpster. Oh, you said or Kittle in the flex 4 PPR. You know what? That's tough. I would say. So you playing Daniel Jones over Bo Nix. I don't know if Chase Brown, what he's at, but I would definitely play Chase Brown over Kamara. But I like Kittle the same as Chase Brown. So you got to choose. It's tomato. You can put Chase Brown in there or you can put George Kittle in there. George Kittle over Kamara. George Kittle very close to Chase Brown, maybe even more. Just depends on what you want to do. But I would like to get Kittle in there too. What's up, Travis Looney? Mr. G says Bourne or Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce all day, bro. Alec Pierce all day. Alec Pierce all day. Another super chat from Ricky Bobby. Appreciate it, bro. He's a TD Pacheco or Hubbard. That's a good one. Hunt is active. So let's go with we're going with Pacheco. We're going with Pacheco for a touchdown and 40 yards. That's what we're playing Pacheco for. Hennessy Black says Fannin or Golden. If Golden has a full practice today, go with Golden. If he's not practicing and is very limited, if it feels like he's not going to play and he's not getting a lot of practice time, I would go with Fannin. But I would prefer to go with Golden. Another super chat from Ricky Bobby. Appreciate it, bro. He says, need tight end Zach Ertz, Evan Ingram, Dalton Schultz, or Cade Otton. I'm going with Cade Otton over Schultz, Ingram, and Ertz. Cade Otton. Hennessy Black says, I have Dart and Caleb. My running backs are Jacobs, Vidal, Montgomery, Harvey, Marks, and Brashad Smith. Should I drop Caleb to get Isaiah Davis? No, you should not. You don't need Isaiah Davis. You got Marks, you got Vidal, and you got Montgomery. With Montgomery's on the bye, but you got Jacobs. You don't need Isaiah Davis right now. Listen, and I go back to this song that Lil Wayne says. And Lil Wayne, the name of the song, it says he wish he could sleep with every girl in the world, and you can't. You know how many players I be seeing, like I want to get them on my team, but I can't. My team is full, and I can't drop other players, so you can't get to Isaiah Davis. Because we're not dropping Caleb, because we don't want Caleb to come back and hunt us. That's a good player. If it was like Cousins or something, I'm like, yeah, drop Cousins. But we don't want Caleb coming back to hunt us. They got a really good matchups going forward, the Chicago Bears. Well, it's actually going to get kind of difficult. But I think Caleb is getting better. That's what I would say. Yeah, I'm looking. You could drop Brashad Smith if you needed Isaiah Davis to start this week. I don't know if Brashad Smith ever takes over the backfield to where we want him to be fantasy consistent for the Kansas City Chiefs when you got Kareem Hunt and you got Isaiah Pacheco. And the team is playing better, so they don't really need a lot of Brashad Smith right now. Frizz says, yo, what up? Who you starting? Xavier Leggett, Tremere DK, or Jalen Noel? I'm going with Xavier Leggett if Drake London is out. I'm going with Xavier Leggett if London is out. Joseph Pollard says, I heard the Browns was thinking about that Buffalo wide receiver. Who, Keon Coleman? What's up, Jassy? Samuel Rodriguez, what's up, bro? He says Franklin or Houston wide receivers. I will go with Franklin. Leon, what's up, Leon? He said, should I start Cal Managa or Jalen Noel? Thanks, TD. I will go with Jalen Noel because Kyle, I don't know, man. If DeAndre Swift wasn't active or if he was hurt, then I would say that. But I'm not going to tell you to play a backup running back just because he had 18 carries last week on a blowout. So I'm going to go with Jalen Noel over Kyle Managa. Samuel says Ertz or Fant. I'm going with Ertz over Fant. It's Louis says Brashad Smith or Spears. I'm going with Spears in the flex. Bob Hope, what's up, Bob? He says Jennings or Swift. Dobbs in my flex PPR. Do you Pitts or Otten? Thanks. I'm going with Otten over Pitts. I'm going with Swift over Jennings. I'm going with Swift over Jennings and Dobbs. Mr. G says Brian Thomas Jr. on the trading block. I heard that. I had a subscriber send that to me earlier. Travis going to be the wide receiver one regardless. The coaches love him, right? And Brian wants to get out of there, and they tired of it. They tired of him talking shit about Trevor, and Trevor telling them he don't like what I'm doing, and so they like, well, we'll move on then. And that's terrible from the Jaguars. You don't draft a wide receiver like that, have the output that he did, and then y'all want to move on. Something's going on. I get it. Sometimes people don't get along. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts goes through this. So I get it. I don't know what's going to happen now. Travis Hunter, that's the guy. I've been on him for the last 2 or 3 weeks telling y'all that he's getting ready to break out. So hopefully a lot of you have him. Jay Moore says, should I stash Benson or Ricky P for long-term? Running backs or B. John, Chase Brown, Rico, Marks, Hampton, Hendy. Wide receivers are Ibuka, MHJ, and Golden. Yes, you got to stash Ricky Pearsall. You don't need Benson. Jay Moore says, need a win week 8. If Golden misses, should I pick up Noel, Jennings, Coleman, Leggett, Slayton, or Ayo Manning? So listen, if Brock Purdy was playing, I would tell you to pick up Jennings. But Brock Purdy is not playing. So that makes me a little bit nervous about being consistent about Jennings, because I think Matt Jones is going to spread the ball around. So I like Leggett over Coleman, over Noel, over Slayton, over Ayo Manning. That's a little edgy. The other guys, if you don't like the Leggett, you think it's too saucy for you, you could go with Coleman or Jennings. I think Coleman and Jennings are okay. They are number ones on their team. But I like Leggett over those guys. That's me getting a little cute. I'm going to go ahead and I'll be transparent with that. I just think he's one of my guys for the week. Sometimes I can see a guy and I see how his trajectory and I can put him over other guys. But a lot of times it's just all about your studs. Normally it could be easily say Jennings because he's the number 1 wide receiver on the San Francisco 49ers with Ricky Pearsall being out. Chris says, rest of the season, tight end, Otten or Kincaid or Taylor. I'm going with Otten over Kincaid and Taylor. Need to drop one for Stafford. I would drop Mason Taylor. Expirodocious says, thank you, TD, anytime. Jay Vonic, whatever I'm sorry if I'm killing your name, Jay. But anyway, appreciate you being here. This is cutting edge content. He says, any thoughts on Alec Pierce? I love Alec Pierce. I think he's going to get ready to break out. He is, to me, Michael Pittman is still the number 1 there, but Alec Pierce is going to be a great number 2 wide receiver. He was on my number 2 wide receiver video earlier before the season started. So I love Alec Pierce. Kana, honey, I don't know what that connects mean. Pugo says trade Waddle and Kittle for T-Mac and Diggs. No, we're going to keep Waddle and Kittle. Jay Moore says, how much does this matter? San Francisco is 32nd against opposing slot wide receivers. I'm strongly considering Noel with his high upside. It matters. That matters. But it depends on who else you got, who you're trying to play him over. I don't see why would you play Noel over a guy that's been getting targets, been playing, and he's on a good trajectory with a good starting quarterback. It just depends on who it is. So Noel's a great play if you don't have other better wide receivers, right? If you don't have a Jennings, it's hard for me to get to a Noel when Jennings is out there with number 1 and practicing all week. But I get what you're saying. That's great data. That's great data. That's not all be all, but it's really good data, man. So if you want to play Noel, you gave yourself a great breakdown to play him. Nobody can question what you're doing when you are going off that information. That's what I always try to tell y'all. I put it in y'all hands. I just don't want you to say, I like cupcakes. Why? Because I like cupcakes. That's what we don't do that here. I like cupcakes. Why? Listen, I love chocolate. I've been loving chocolate my whole life ever since I was a kid. So as long as I got chocolate in front of me, if I get sick and I get diabetes, I don't care. I smoke cigarettes. I'm not talking about me. I'm just giving you an example. I smoke cigarettes, and I don't care if I get throat cancer. So I like smoking cigarettes. That's what I do. It calms my nerves down. I don't care what anybody says. I preach here, go down with your ship. And that's what you're doing. So there's nothing wrong with you playing Noel with that information backing up your play. Tron Force says, would you drop Packers defense to pick up the Texans defense? I don't know what the Packers rest of the season schedule looks like. So it's all about rest of the season. You want to target teams like Tennessee, Miami. So whoever playing those teams, you want to have those defenses. So you're going to have to make that decision. Both of those defenses are pretty good. I think Texans got to play Tennessee again. So that's one reason why I would say Texans. But if Packers got a couple weak games, then you can play those too. You can keep the Packers. So look at the rest of the schedule and look for teams that are giving it up behind the dumpster. That way you'll know to pick that defense. William says, Lad gave me 18 points, so good play. Good play. I would have played Kamara. It might not work out. You probably made the best play, bro. Good job, William. Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Tron says, better start at flex. Jalen Warren or Scary Terry? I'm going with Jalen Warren. I think we did that one already. Art Hip Hop says, bruh, fantasy league wins every time. Right. I score, this is Flacco or Fields. I'm going with Flacco all day. John Parham says, Flacco over Fields, in my opinion. Yes, sir. Alex says, talk to me about Breach Hall. We ain't doing it. I don't mean about talking. We not looking to have him as a top 12 guy all year, with what's going on with Justin Fields. But if you need to start Breach Hall, he is a top 24 back so that means he's a start guy that you start. You just lower your expectations. But as far as you talking about Breach, I don't understand. It's like why I should talk about DeAndre Swift. He ain't CMC. He ain't none of the top running backs because of the situation. But could he be traded? Yes, he could be traded, and everything could change. So don't drop Breach Hall. Hold on to him and play him accordingly. And when I say accordingly, that means you start him as an RB2 every week or a flex play. John Paul says, is Fields even starting? Yes, he is starting. Rashid says, how you feel about Hubbard for the rest of the season? I think it's going to be a 50-50 split, and the best guy going to play. So we all need some of those guys on our teams because we don't got other better players, especially if you went 0 RB. So I think Hubbard is a start depending on what type of bye week you got or what other running backs you got. I'm starting Hubbard in a couple leagues. I got him on the bench maybe 1 and 2 because I got other good running backs. Tron Forces, would you drop the Packers defense for the Texans defense rest of the season? I think I did that one already. Like I said, you just want to look at their schedule and see who got more giving it up behind the dumpster teams. Jay Moore says, considering playing Noel over Golden. Yes, I understand it because Golden is hurt. I don't like playing, so that's a common denominator where I could take out. I'm like, you know what? Golden, you ain't practicing. They talking about you hurt. There's already a bunch of wide receivers there. Christian Watson is actually active. I'm going with Noel. Renat says, Taysom action this week. I don't know. I'm not playing Taysom Hill. I got him in a couple of dynasty leagues, but I'm not playing him. I'd rather play Jawan Johnson and Alvin Kamara. Watch me. Chow Down says Josh Downs is out on concussion protocol and is starting. You think this affects Alec Pierce targets? No. No, you can't put that back in the toothpaste tube. Alex says Breach Hall or Xavier Worthy in the flex. One going with Xavier Worthy with Justin Fields back in there. And I think Cincinnati can get up so far that they won't be able to run the ball with Breach. But can Breach catch 6-7 passes? That's very possible. But I think Isaiah Davis gets majority of those passes. So I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy in the flex for the upside. Jay Moore says, if Ricky P plays next week, he has positive matchup against the New York Giants. Yes. As a slot wide receiver, is that a slot stat where they giving it up in the slot? Intelligente says, do you agree with Tomlin that it was done for the Browns to trade Flacco into the divisional rival? No, because the Browns don't give a damn. Listen, I'm going to tell you what this is. You know, are you ever hung around people that you trying to find a job? And, you know, you got a friend and he might not be looking for a job. All of a sudden, you come out here and he's drinking and shit. He got a bottle open in the middle in your car, maybe be smoking some illegal substance and got that smell or something on you, and you trying to get a job. That he don't care. So you pitching Pearl to Swan. So that's what's going on with the Browns. They don't give a damn about when they ain't winning no Super Bowl, so they don't give a damn how it's going to affect the Steelers. They don't give a damn how it's going to affect the Baltimore Ravens. They would sell anybody. They don't care. This shit is in turmoil over there. So what Mike Tomlin is talking about, the other teams are not comprehending. Like what Mike Tomlin is talking about, the Browns don't comprehend that way. Jay Wells says, should I start Keon Coleman or Dalton Kincaid? Keon Coleman. B. Silver says, start 1 full PPR. DK, Slayton, and D as in Dyke. DK, not DK, DK. DK, Slayton, Calvin Austin, Jalen Noel, Alec Pierce, or Golden. I'm going with Alec Pierce over DK and Jalen Noel. I'm going with Alec Pierce. Michael White says, would you start Noel over Waddle? No, because Waddle has a tough matchup against Atlanta. No. I wouldn't do it. If you want to do it because of the tough matchup, that's fine. I'm going with Waddle. I know that they are drawing up plays in practice for Waddle. I know Tua is trying to hit Waddle, so I'm going to go with Waddle. Waddle has the draft capital. He's healthy. Michael White says, should I start Marks at the flex for the rest of the season? I believe he gets more production over the rest of the season. I agree, Michael White, and I am starting Marks in the flex, especially on this bye week. T33891 says, Breach Hall over Rashad White. I'm going with Rashad White. Jay Moore says, would you fade the stash of Benson to add wide receiver depth? Only have MHJ, Ibuka, Golden with my running backs, B.J. and Chase Brown. Yes. I think I talked about that earlier. I think you asked that question earlier, bro. Yes. Yes, I would rather probably, I would fade Stash and Benson, and I would go get more wide receiver depth because you need help at the wide receiver position. Holy Inspiration says, you think this could be Coast and Loveland turn this week? Komet has been ruled out, giving Loveland a prime. Okay, I didn't know that. Yes, I do believe that. Yes. Now, what makes me a little bit nervous is Kyle Hamilton. He like that. I think they could put him on him man-to-man or in zone coverages, and they could lock him down where he's not really that great. But I still think he's going to be good going forward. I had to mention him this week. But he doesn't have a prime matchup. But with Cole Kmet being out, yeah, you can play him. It's at the tight end position. Mal Girl says Eagles, okay. Expire Odosha says, hey TD, I need a flex between Woody, Leggett, and Pierce. It's close between Leggett and wait a minute, you got Woody. Let's go with Alec Pierce. Because of the matchup against Tennessee Titans. Let's go with Alec Pierce over Leggett and Woody. I really like Woody, but I like Alec Pierce even more because of the matchup. Half PPR. Bro, let me tell you something. You can go with Woody. As the running back, it's close between Woody and Alec Pierce. It's not, bro, you can't go wrong either one. Let's go with Woody. I'm going to change to Woody because it's half-point PPR. Let's go with Woody. Great question. B. Silver says, Tyler Huntley is getting the start over Cooper Rush. How does that affect Derrick Henry? It doesn't affect Derrick Henry. It actually makes him better. If you want to nitpick, it makes them better because Huntley can run the ball. So whenever you have a running quarterback, it's only going to help the running back. And I told y'all why. The backside defensive end and the front side defensive end has to stay at the point of contact, because if they chase, they can let the quarterback out the back door. So that's going to help Derrick Henry. Everybody's not going to be able to chase Derrick Henry until he's already hit the hole and they see that the quarterback don't have the ball. He can run them a Lamar Jackson offense better than Cooper Rush can. Jay Moore says, how will San Francisco distribute the ball when all pass catchers are healthy? Bro, we don't know that. That's something that we don't know. All we know is what Brock Purdy usually does. He loves George Kittle, and he likes Jawan Jennings. Matt Jones loves Kendrick Bourne when he's active, and he spreads the ball around. So that's the only thing that you can go to, bro. That's the only data that I've collected by watching the game. Holy Inspiration says okay, yeah, we did that one already. Stipula Mello says, I traded Henry and Bill Krosky for Jacobs. I'm 1-6 and I don't start Bill and need the safer player. So you might be new here, Stipler. This is what I would have told you. And everybody else will tell you in the chat what I've been telling them. I wouldn't have traded Henry away. If I'm gonna lose and I'm not gonna make the playoffs, I'm gonna have good players on my team, and I'm not trading them for no chopped liver. I'm not gonna trade because I'm upset and I just need somebody to do something. I've seen that. I've got guys that have hit me up for consultations that wanted to do that, and I helped them out and I let them make that decision, and I didn't chastise them for it. But I don't believe in that. I believe that if I'm getting my ass whooped, you're gonna whoop me with Lamar. You're going to whoop me with Derrick Henry. You're going to whoop me with Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not trading none of those players. I'm not trading them. That's how I play. A lot of people don't hit me up for trades because I don't be trading. I like to pick my team. I got my team. A lot of people try to trade. You got to trade to get better than my team. In most leagues, you got to make a trade. A lot of guys, they do that. They go in and they attack people who ain't that savvy to get better. That's fine. I'll make a trade here and there if I got to win the league. But I hate really doing that because a lot of people see players differently. But yes, now you just got Jacobs, and you're gonna be left out there vulnerable. You didn't trade it away. What your mama gave you, and I'm using this as a metaphor. But say your mama gave you a chain. I'm not giving away that chain just because I'm going through a tight spot. Because if I come out on the back end and I gave away that chain and I could have bought that chain 2 or 3 times, I'm going to be upset with myself. I'm going to try to weather the storm keeping my chain that my mama gave me. I thought you should have weathered the storm keeping Henry and Bill. And because Jacobs is not going to, at 1-6, what is Jacobs going to do? Be the number 1 running back and win you a league? I would have gave up Henry for a 2-for-1 and got at least 2 B play, like a Chase Brown and a Jacory Krosky-Merritt, and maybe even another player. You says I'm 1-6 and I don't start Bill and need a safer player. Okay, so you said I traded Henry and Bill Krosky for Jacobs. I'm 1-6. So, bro, all you can do is just make the best starts and go down with the ship. Put the best players in that you can, Step, and go down with the ship. That's all you can do. If you need a consultation, sign up as a Phenom member. I can give you a free one. If you don't want to sign up, you can just pay that $50 for 30 minutes, and we'll sit there and go through the whole league and try to make the best of what we can for your team. But it's up to you. Holy Inspiration says, you think Tremere DK will outscore Alec and Manna? Who knows? That's like saying, do you think that the president will come out and offer up free education for everybody? I hope he does. I hope DK outscores him. I don't know. But listen, going off a little bit of a trend, I'll say DK. Jay Moore says, can you see Noel taking over the slot role once Kurt? Yes. Yes. Because young players do that, and you in the second, we going into this third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. That's when rookies take over. Everybody know what Christian Kirk's been for years. He's okay, but I think Noel does have potentially a better, he could be better than Kurt. So yes, I do believe that Noel could be better for them. They do need more weapons. Mo Girl, she says Mal Girl. Okay, Mal Girl. Like the character. Okay, thank you. L. Robinson says, should I start Justin Fields or Mariota? I will go with Mariota with the tough matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Fred says, who would you drop to pick up? Xavier Leggett, Devin Neal, Tajay, Calvin Austin, or Butte? Who would you drop to pick up Xavier Leggett? Devin Neal? No. Calvin Austin or Devin Neal? Calvin Austin or Devin Neal? That's the two I would drop to go pick up Xavier Leggett. Tron says, I have 3 Eagles in my starting lineup. You good? With A.J. Brown out, I hope Devontae Smith, Goddard, and Barkley have big games. Yes, nothing wrong with that. Those are all 3 good plays. L. Robinson says, should I start Justin Fields or Mariota? We're going with Mariota. Jay Moore says, any wide receiver stashes with high upside? Yes. Xavier Leggett. Calvin Austin. Alec Pierce. Those are a few. Adrian says, is Drake playing? We hope so. We don't know. He's questionable. He's questionable. Malgirl says, I pray AJ stays with us. I think, yeah. Who knows? But they trying to win championships. I think AJ will be fine. I think he's going to stay there. He wants to win championships. Adrian says, is London a start with Penix? Yes. If Kirk Cousins is healthy and London is healthy, I'm good with playing London. Michael Beard says, I'm having second thoughts now. I traded Kamara and Ladd for Barkley. No, listen. What's your record, Michael? If you got a good record, man, that's a great trade. Because Saquon is going to be good going down the stretch. He's going to be good going down the stretch. You consolidated. I like the move, even if it doesn't work out. I just want to tell you, I like the strategy that you did. It don't always work out, bro. You got to make a move sometimes, and I get why you made that move. Junk Buster says, Ibuka for Javonte Williams or Jacobs? If you're going to trade Ibuka, you're going to have to get Jacobs. We don't care nothing about no Javonte Williams. I know Javonte Williams is balling, but we don't buy that tier of player. We don't go, even though they may be balling out, you don't go down that far when you got a guy like Ibuka and you got Mike Evans out for the rest of the season and we don't know when Godwin's coming back. Ibuka could be the #1 wide receiver overall if Jamar Chase will calm down a little bit. But he can at least be a top 3 wide receiver. So I would say if you want to trade Ibuka for Jacobs because you need running back depth, yes. Spacey Fix. Appreciate you being here. He says Worthy or Metcalf. I'm going with Metcalf. Mallard says, hi, who would you flex this week in half PPR? Mason Taylor, Mims, Monaga, or Mooney? I would go with Mooney. Mason Taylor, I can't play Mason Taylor with Justin Fields. I don't even know if he's going to be active. 5-2. That was a good move, Michael. That was a good move. So Mims, to me, is Cortland Sutton and Torrey Franklin. Mims is just a gadget guy. He can hit for one big play. Monaga, I like what he's doing, but I need to see it. That 18 carries was kind of fake because they was up so much, they just ran the ball the whole game, the fourth quarter. They just ran the ball. I don't think if the game is close, I don't think he sees that many carries. Maybe so, but let's wait and see. I feel good going down with the ship with Darnell Mooney and Kirk Cousins. Jay Moore says, thoughts on Woody against San Francisco. It doesn't matter about what San Francisco is doing. Woody is just a guy, like, if you need a running back, you know he's playing a lot, you can start him. That's how you look at him. I'm trying to get you to picture what Woody is. I won't look at Woody for matchups. Because if you're playing Woody, man, we passed the matchups. We need a player. So I'm not going to play Woody over guys that are been solid starters all year. Woody is a guy that you should be getting to him because you don't have another running back. That's what type of player that Woody is. So Woody is a good player against anybody. It could be the 1985 Bears. Mal says, then would you start Troy over Mooney? Who is Troy? Troy Franklin? No, especially with Drake London having a questionable tag, I think I might go to Mooney. Because one thing about Kirk Cousins, he doesn't target Kyle Pitts that way. He likes to throw to Drake London and Mooney, especially Mooney. Mooney was eating with Kirk Cousins. So I like Mooney with Kirk Cousins. Sports Dog, what's up, bro? He says, TD, I picked up Dalton Schultz for my tight end and put Henry on waivers. Right. I just feel better running with Schultz. I feel you. I don't. But I feel you. I respect what you're saying. Mio Beard. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry. It is Michael. The sun was on it. Michael Beard says, my wide receiver room now, though, is JSN, Pickens, Worthy, Khalil Shakir, Jacoby Myers. Running backs are JT, Nell, Saquon, and Swift. Yeah, so you got Worthy, you got JSN, and you got Pickens. So you got good wide receivers, and your running backs are studs. You got JT, so he's going to balance everything out until Saquon get going. Mal Ed says, thanks, man, anytime. What's up, Bo, with the super chat? He says, Taz or Rico, PPR, salute to you, bro. Yes, sir. I'm going with Taz over Rico because it's going to be a split backfield. Unless you just want the running back there. Because it's all about the touchdowns. We don't know if Rico going to get it or Chuba going to get it. But Taz, we know, got a good role. It's going to be Ibuka and Taz. Kara Dula says Schultz or Loveland with Komet out. I'm going with. I don't like Schultz, man. He doesn't have enough athletic ability, if you ask me, for me to feel great about him. Especially with Noel and them coming in. I'd rather play Noel or Xavier Hutchinson over Schultz. So I'm gonna go with Loveland. B Silver said it's Kittle's tight end holiday. Yes. So you got to go with Kittle. Right. I forgot about tight end day. So that's yes. It is tight end day. That's a great. Thank you for reminding me. It's Kittle tight end holiday, but he's going up against a tough Houston defense. It doesn't matter. I also have K-Dot. So you have a better tight end with a better matchup. You trying to get me to make to play matchups, but Brian, I ain't doing Kittle. It's Kittle. We're not gonna do it. But K-Dot has a great matchup, but you got Kittle. I'm only gonna give you my take. If I had to make a decision between Kittle or Otten, I would trade Kittle so damn fast so I can get another better player. I'm not gonna play matchups. Imagine having a team so good, and this is the way I see it. Imagine having a team so good that you have to decide if you're gonna play Jamar Chase because he's going against Pat Surtain. You don't want to do that. You don't care if Pat Surtain is playing Jamar Chase or not. You're gonna play Jamar Chase, and you should treat Kittle the same way. I believe that's the way I play fantasy. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. King Sirius says, if you must start Water, expect 5 or 7 catches, 50 to 70 yards, rather than boom numbers. Facts. The Miami offense and overall team is a mess and will continue to be exploited on the road this week at Atlanta. Yeah, but all you need is 1 touchdown from Waddle. Do you believe they only score 0 points? I believe they can score at least 10 to 14 points. And I think Waddle's going to be a part of those 10 to 14 points. Him and A-Chain. That's all they got. A-Chain, Waddle, and Tua. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out here. I appreciate y'all watching the whole live. I'll see y'all later. Peace.